Hey, what's up? So I thought that I would talk a little bit about some cameras that you can use to film yourself skateboarding, and each of these are going to cost under $200. So I feel like the elephant in the room is the idea of just filming on your smartphone, which is obviously an option. But if you're like me, I hate having a bunch of skate clips on my phone and then trying to like sift through them with photos of my cat and photos of my wife and family stuff, and then it just gets all lost and jumbled. And I've talked about this on some of my other YouTube channels, but I like my phone as like a daily task tool and not necessarily like a creating videos tool. So if you're like me at all, having a separate camera to film skate videos or whatever makes a lot of sense. And so I'm going to talk about three different options. I've used two of them here on this channel. The first one is going to be the dad cam, and this is actually a pretty recent pickup for me. This Panasonic SD100 cost me $70, I think, on eBay. And this is just a basic dad cam. It uses SD cards, which is nice. It shoots all auto, which is great for filming skate videos like this. It's got a tripod mount, so you can mount it to a tripod if you want. And it takes older SD cards. You do have to get old SD cards that are not like the newer ones. So you might have to go online and find SD, not the SDSC or the SDXC for this type of camera. This SD100 does have a mic jack. That's why I would recommend one with a mic jack if you wanted to do mic'd up skateboarding, which is what I'm doing right now. I have a mic clipped to my hat. If you wanted to do the types of videos that you see here on this channel, having a camera with a mic jack is really the only way to do it. So this camera is pretty good. It's honestly not as good as the camera that I'm filming on right now, which I've talked about before, which is the Kodak ZI-8. And I'm going to show you footage of each of these cameras just so that you kind of know what you're looking at. Right now, I'm on the ZI-8. The ZI-8 can be had for around $25. This is good because it's got a zoom rocker, so you can zoom in. So if you're filming somebody else, skating, you can do zooms. It's got a threaded front here, so if you wanted to, you could put a 37 millimeter screw-on Optica fisheye or something like that. It does have a cold shoe on the top, so you could even put like a cold shoe top handle and make this a pretty legit little skate filming rig. Pros about this: SD card, super easy to get off. You don't have to use any of those weird tape things where you got to like plug it into the AV jack and then record it onto a little like RC helicopter like micro SD recorder. I'm not messing with any of that stuff. This is cheap. It's got a mic jack, records to SD cards. Everything is auto, so you can't manually control the exposure or the white balance. It does have a lens cover that, closes whenever you turn it off, so that's nice. It does have a viewfinder, so you can actually like look through it, which is pretty cool. So this little one is great. It's cheap and it's easy to use. Anyone could use this, and the batteries are super cheap on this too. So cons is that it's not the best image quality, which for skateboarding, you don't really need the best image quality, but this is actually worse image quality than the ZI-8 that I'm filming on. So that's one of the biggest cons, is that the image quality on this is just not great. Okay, and for most of you, this next option is probably going to be the best bet. This is the Kodak ZI-8 that I was talking about earlier. This is only going to cost you around 25 bucks. These are really, really cheap. The image quality is pretty good in 1080p. It actually looks, all the videos except for, I think, episode 27 were filmed on this little ZI-8. The really nice thing is that it's so compact, it can fit in a fanny pack. I use a little Joby Gorilla Pod that's like the same size as this. Throw this, my mic, and the Gorilla Pod in a fanny pack, and it's really discreet. It doesn't make it super obvious that you're filming yourself, which is a big deal to me, and it's super easy to use. Pros: small, takes SD cards, inconspicuous, cheap. It has a mic jack. The 1080p image quality is pretty good. Cons: in 1080p, it's a pretty tight focal length, so this does not have a zoom on it. This is going to be the equivalent of, I think, a 63 millimeter focal length on this guy. So that's a big con because it's kind of a long distance, so you're not going to be able to get any like wide angle shots with this ZI-8. Another con is that the battery life on this is not very good. So you're going to have to buy at least 2 extra batteries, and the way to get to them, you have to take off whatever's connected to the tripod mount and then take this front cover off, and that's how you get to the battery. So that's kind of a bummer. And also, this doesn't have any cold shoe on it. So if you want to mount your microphone, you'll have to do what I did, and I super glued a cold shoe mount to the top of this. So that's another con. But overall, for 25 bucks, the image quality is great, and it's the most convenient option, I think, to film yourself with. Again, it's got a mic jack. The audio preamps in this are pretty good, and yeah, I actually really like this for the most part. I just wish that it had better battery life. This one, again, takes SD cards, and you will need older SD cards that are not like the SDXC or the SDHC. They just need to be like good old-fashioned SD cards, and I think it only takes up to 16 gigabytes. So that's something else to look out for. All right, next camera we'll talk about is the one that you're actually seeing me on right now, and this one's going to give you the best image quality. All right, and the third option is going to be a mirrorless camera, specifically an older mirrorless camera. The one that I have here is a Panasonic GH3. This one can be had for easily under 200 bucks. Most of the time, it would come with a lens. If you want one even cheaper than this, the GH2 or the GH1 are also pretty good options. You could go for a DSLR, but I like these Panasonic cameras a little bit more when it comes to the 1080p quality. You know, you pair it with a halfway decent lens, and you can actually get some pretty nice looking stuff. I remember when I randomly got some backstage passes to Street League, I think it was 2015, whenever it came to Portland, 2015, 2016. A lot of the dudes, like I remember one of the dudes that was filming Tori Pudwell, he was rocking a GH3 just like this with a 12 to 35 millimeter kit lens and a Sennheiser mic. So you can get a lot done with one of these older Panasonic GH series cameras. So I would look into this. The Panasonic G6 is also a pretty decent camera with mic jack, and you know, it's going to give you pretty similar image quality to this GH3. Nice thing about this GH3 is that it's got a mic jack and a headphone jack if you care about that. It's weather sealed, so if it's raining, you don't really got to worry about it. And yeah, it's just a really all-around good camera with a really good battery life. And I built my entire main YouTube channel on this camera. So yeah, the camera that you're seeing me on right now is the dad cam. I've used all three of these cameras throughout this video, so you'll have been able to see kind of the image quality you can expect from each one. Obviously, this one is going to be the best image quality that you're going to get, but sometimes you don't always want the best image quality. Sometimes you want the most convenient camera. And I'd say as far as convenience goes, this is probably at the bottom of the tier. The dad cam would be the second most convenient, and then the ZI-8 would be the most convenient. Image quality, it would be this, and then the ZI-8, and then the dad cam, which is what you're seeing me on right now. Vibes, it would definitely be the dad cam first, and then the ZI-8, and then this. This is a little bit of a clean image, which isn't going to lend itself to looking like a traditional skate video. But if you're looking for a camera that you might be able to do other stuff with, besides just filming skateboarding, a camera like this is a pretty good option. Anyways, that's another really quick video about cameras, because that's what I do. Like my day job is I talk about cameras. So hopefully this was halfway entertaining to you. I'm going to skate a little bit with this dad cam, because I think this one fits the spirit of filming yourself skateboarding the most. Front board pop out.